water for this. Not that's not the thing at all. You just take a pail of water if you're not collecting rainwater or you're not on a well or something. Take a pail of water, set it in the out of doors, in the sunlight, 24 hours to 48 hours, and all that chlorine has dissipated out of there. Then you soak your coconut fiber core. And anytime that you are watering your worms, always make sure that you use non-chlorinated water. Okay, now, getting back to our little assembly here. All right, we have our worms in there. Now, whenever I decide that tomorrow, whenever I'm going to be putting my scraps in there, my vegetable scraps, the smaller that I make them, the faster my worms can eat them. I can even put them in a blender if I so choose, if I really want them to eat it fast. One of the things that I don't want them to eat very fast, that I don't chop up, is melons of any kind. They love melons. They love whether it's cantaloupe, whether it's watermelon. And then I like to just do slices of them and lay it in there because they just love it. They all gather together there. This is their feast. This is their banquet. And if you try to pick it up, they're like hanging on to it and say, "Don't take it from me. Don't take it from me." Sometimes they'll do that also with bread. I enjoy putting a piece of bread in there and watch. They're like children. They eat out the center first and then they leave the crust. But have fun with your worms because they really are neat. Then when you have placed your garbage in here, always, this is their bedding. And the worms always need to have a bedding. And what you do is I always have my trusty little rake. I take and I move my bedding like so. I place my garbage in there and I cover it back over, and then I put newspaper. Now you can use burlap bag. I usually take 2 thicknesses of newspaper and place it over. All right, and then I use my spray bottle and spray my paper down because my paper should be moist. It's going to serve 3 purposes. It's going to keep your worms moist. It's going to keep them in the dark, and it's also a food source for them. So whenever you think about anything that you're going to be putting on top of your worms, think about those 3 things. Keep them in the dark, food source, and moist. The worms need to stay moist because that is the way that they breathe. Now, when you first get started, this is the way your worm bin is going to look. Allah. Then, when it is up to here, let me show you. You have little ribs here. When it is up to there, all of your things that you have put in there is up to there. Then you put the next level on. And putting the next level on, put it on like so. Now, what I do is I take my paper and I put it down the bottom now. And that is going to be my liner. You see how the worms can travel from one level to the other. These these holes are their stairways. In fact, I call this my 3-story worm condominium. You know, this is neat because your little guys can travel from one level to the other to visit their friends. And if they want, they can even go down to the bottom and hang out at the pool. Okay? All right, now, we have this started for the second tray, but now you do not need to get another coconut fiber core. Now you got shredded paper. You've had time to shred paper. Okay, get shredded paper, or you can also use your leaves, your leaf clippings, and so on. But you make a bedding. I always like to use shredded paper. So I put my shredded paper in here, and you never put dirt in here. I never put dirt, I never put sand in there. This is strictly garbage. This is strictly your green waste the worms are going to eat. Because when the worms eat it, this is what you're going to get. This is worm castings. And it's awesome. It holds 3 to 4 times its weight in moisture. Now these are screen worm castings from our farm. But let me show you what the worms